All right. Everybody happy? I'm happy. And just like that, we're rolling.
We're rolling.
That's it, man.
Let's do it.
Hey, gang, I am Sam Schneider, Bad Beard, and we are out here, X Games 2024, Ventura, California. And as I've been wandering around finding people to talk to, I found this fine gentleman doing some fine artwork.
That's right.
So why don't you introduce yourself to the friends at home?
All right, my name's Pat. I got hired by Scrim Junkies. They do all the signs and, every sign you see on all the ramps. They needed some art presence to like drive people to their booth.
Yeah.
I'm a local artist from Ventura. I run my own company called Gamut. So we do art, jiu-jitsu, surf, music, fitness, meditation, the full gamut.
Oh, cool.
So that's like my background. But I'm born and raised in Camarillo and Ventura resident for a long time. So
you've always been in the art space?
No, I was a trainer. I was a personal trainer for like 12 years before that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It started, actually, my company Gamut started as Gamut Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I got into art and kind of went that route.
You went from art of the body to art of the soul.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The medium and format just changed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll get some photos to put with this video, but for the folks at home that are just listening, walking by, they set up what looked to be about a 6 foot. So what is that setup over there?
Okay, so we, my buddy and I, Mouse, we've been working together for a long time, and at different events, we've done this like saran wrap mural. Any two posts, any two trees, whatever, you just saran wrap it a bunch of times, and then you have this temporary mural to do for like the community or for like demo purposes. So we just spray on it and then flip it, spray again, and get people kind of activated. Like we have all these cans that are acrylic, non-toxic, water-based, good for the environment. So, you're not huffing fumes and there's no smell.
Yeah.
So it's good for live events.
You guys do a one-off and then you flip it and then you let the passersby get a hand at being artistes.
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys have any cool experiences with that where like all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, this is really good. Like you're...
Usually the community paintings are a lot better actually. Like artists strive to have that freedom, and sometimes we try to, it becomes like a contrived kind of look, like someone trying to look like a kid did it. So, but when it's actually happening, it's always like, I think it looks better. So
like a real organic collage. Exactly.
Yeah. But we do a lot of big murals and big paintings. I do art for a living now.
So when you do art for a living, what is your inspiration from? What are you pulling? Still clanging and banging weights at the gym?
Yeah, I train jiu-jitsu a lot.
Okay.
So I'm jiu-jitsu every day and then a few workouts every week. I might get back into training eventually, but inspiration for art is through I meditate a lot. So try to go deep and just figure out, I don't know. I'm in this stage of trying to let go of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So any way I can do that through my art.
Yeah. So this podcast is kind of a lived experience through me, and so it's all the things that I've found my way into, the people I meet along the way.
Yeah.
Trying to learn because I love people, right? And so when I meet somebody, I'm so curious what makes them them. And so with this format, I'm able to ask super direct questions and learn. But as you described, trying to let go of expectations and just all the things that we think we need versus what actually matters, and so that middle ground I think is where I'm working to as well. So meeting folks like you is a big part of that process.
Yeah.
Do you find was that always the thing, just being out here on the West Coast, or did you along the way go, man, I'm fucking stressed?
I think I moved around a lot as a kid. I was a military brat, so it was every 2 years we'd move. And we got all the sports and academics. We were always you have to get straight A's. You have to excel at sports. That's what we did. Mm-hmm. And anything outside of a strict Christian Navy upbringing was sort of we never even knew about. I never got Thai food as a kid. I never, just basic stuff. We didn't know about the world.
Oh, pepper? Yeah, spicy stuff?
Yeah, pepper? What? Yeah, so... I don't know, man. So obviously you leave the nest in like college years and you're just like whoa, this exists. Like there's different people, like, you know.
When you grew up within that Christian, was it like a conservative, like what I would imagine a military kind of experience to be with that? Was God real to you in that space?
No, I was just going through the motions. I believed in God, but I didn't have my own voice at all, so I didn't know how to communicate or speak about it in any like real way. It was just, that's what we did. And then once you realize that that's not how life is, and there's other viewpoints and like beautiful people everywhere, you sort of like find your own way and make your own conclusions about spirituality or what this all is. It's kind of a trip that we're even here, you know?
Sitting in this little bulbous cube.
Yeah, we're in this cube. Like, what are we? Like, are we a mind? Are we a soul? Are we? Is it like? Is everything one? There's all the gurus say we're all one.
The universe experiencing itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or the multiverses and infinite realms, and I've definitely seen a bunch of crazy shit in like meditations, a little bit of psychedelics, but mostly meditation. I've just dabbled in psychedelics, but I've seen like gone down portals.
I've seen that Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Avengers 69. It was great.
It's like really happens.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I've closed my eyes and like within a minute, it's just all stars, and you're like, is this really happening? Like at first it's scary, and then you start going down these little like journeys. And you don't really know, is it your subconscious creating this? Is it just like I don't know. So it's experimental for me, and that's how I approach my art. It's just all an experiment, like journal entry, kind of like, oh, green went here. Now I need to put some drips here. Now I need to do a portrait here. It just kind of flows. So I'm trying to like kind of incorporate these ideas into my art as well.
For me, hearing you describe that, like I think my experience was growing up in a similar Christian upbringing. You know, you have the Bible as reference, and it's this book that's got all these rules and instruction. But to be able to start understanding on a personal level, like I didn't really have that until later. But then, that's really interesting. Yeah. Oh, I had a thought that just went. Whoo.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, I've been sleeping here on the floor of this trailer, so my mornings have been a little rocky. Oh, I was gonna say, so with the how you're kind of seeing the world and with the way that the spirituality is informing your art and all things, you know, is that all a collective experience? Like this one informs that one and so on?
I think so, yeah. It's tough because I don't know, like, this is all just like, we're just like hypothesizing, like we don't really know what's up at all.
I remember my thought. It was that the fact that I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a big thing growing up, was that you had to know, you had to make this decision, you have to live this way.
Yeah.
And then as I grew up, I realized I knew less and less, and that was better because, you know, there's no way I could know. And so even when you consider your art or whatever, it's just like, that's okay. Not knowing is the grace of the experience.
Totally. Yeah, and I think I started rebelling a lot. Like, it's definitely linked to like that strict upbringing. Mm-hmm. I started studying like philosophy in college and like taking like ethics and religion classes and all this stuff. And then you're like, oh, like what do I actually believe? Mm-hmm. But I forgot where I was going with this. But
early mornings in Ventura, out here kicking butt.
Yeah, we really don't know. We don't know anything, and I do though. Like I do, but we're just learning. Yeah. But I have a deep sense of like what I think happens when you die, or
what do you think happens when you die?
I think you kind of blend. I believe in past lives. Like I don't know, 100% certainty, but I think we're sort of like remembering things as we go. Like you meet certain people and you're like, oh, I've never met you, obviously, but there's some link or like some familiarity, or like, you know, why was I so drawn to jiu-jitsu and drumming and like sad music versus like my buddies love blues, and I mean that's sad, but it doesn't have this like dissonant feel to it. I like all the like.
You're more of a melancholy.
Yeah, like the dark, like like
feel the feels.
Ambient. Yeah, like I always looked for like sad songs. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers came out when I was like, I don't know, 11. And I liked the song Could Have Lied. That was my favorite song. I just play it on repeat over and over and over, you know? But where my other friends liked, I don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, that never resonated with me at all. So.
Well, are you familiar with the idea of your DNA being imprinted? And so the saying that, like, I have, you know, brown hair because Grandpa had brown hair, and all those, you know, genetic traits you take with you, that there is an imprinting of trauma. Yep. Or a lived experience that also imprints on your DNA, and so those memories that you speak of and or past lives.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
That we like through all the generations. I haven't heard it in that term, but yeah, that's familiar.
Not far off.
Not far off. Yeah. I mean, definitely things run in families for sure. Like different anxieties or like traumas. Like definitely. I know my grandma like. How much should I reveal here?
Dude, this is your show right now.
So, like, I used to be an alcoholic when I was 20. Like, my grandpa, obviously, that's a pretty common one. But both grandpas alcoholics. My grandma used to hate driving with people. Like, she was, like, kind of agoraphobic. And I developed some agoraphobic tendencies as I got older. And I think it was just, I'm stoked on it because it taught me, like, how to... like you sort of like experiment with the illusion of control, like controlling your environment or having like certain water or certain things in your car that you need to feel safe or whatever, or like one beer that's like an unopened beer just in case I need it, you know. So it's always, you always have an out and you're trying to like control. So over the years through art and through like interactions with people and learning all these new like philosophies or whatever, I kind of realized that it's all like a mist, you know? So I don't really need any of that, you know? And then through my art, I can just be whoever I want. I don't have to be worried about how people perceive me or, you know what I mean? Before I used to like meticulously do these portraits and it had to be...
trying to do it right.
Yeah, because people will accept me if I do a perfect portrait, like a photo. And then I realized over time I'd rather just doodle around and like... just be myself and find my own style. So that's what we're trying to do with these big portraits, you know, or big murals. Just let it loose, you know.
Well, and then so you're working with Mouse, who I hope to have in here as well. Is there an agenda or a direction that you like to take it, or is it just like right now it's like, well, this is what we're doing right now, and we're going to keep growing it?
Yeah, keep growing it. We like working together, like we're good friends, and then we definitely have a direction. Like we want to, my goal is to like push my art to the highest level I can, but also give back and be in the community. Because I know I have like I think it's my role to like be a leader, you know? So we'll see.
When I find with me, like service is like a big thing for me. Like the more I can take the attention off myself, or what I say that as I have 3 cameras pointed at us.
Yeah.
But
yeah, totally.
The more that I can do,
filming our workouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
The more that I can do for others, the better I'm able to do what I do. And so I think that's definitely a part of the program. And it's exciting to see what you guys are doing, because when I walk by and see those kids, like, you know, it's like, tagging and whatever. Like, you know, a child has some cartoon version of what that is or whatever, but then to be able to just contextualize it and make it a fun, you know, uplifting experience in a community like this that supports it, that's really cool to see.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and who knows what they're going to take from it. Yeah. Like, we have, like, certain memories from, like, certain teachers or whatever. I don't really know. Like, maybe they'll remember this. I hope so.
I would say so. I mean, specifically, X Games in itself is such a cartoon experience because it's so big.
It's big, yeah.
And so to come, you know, I remember growing up, I think it was like, you know, the weekend event that I would see coming home from church or whatever, and they had that downhill luge, and everything was sponsored by Sobe.
Oh, yeah. Sobe was huge.
Huge. And so I was like, man, this is so cool, and just to see it on TV, but then now to grow into a place where I'm literally here playing in the space, it's like, for a child, this would be, you know, Disneyland. And I'm sure it influences the rest of their life because of things that they take away, the influences that they gotta, you know, experience.
Yep, definitely.
It's a rad ride. We're all just doing it, dudes.
Yeah. No one knows shit. No.
Yeah, I can dig it. Well, there was so many different random topics that you brought up that I could dive back into. But I don't want to steal too much of your time. Do you have more time, or where are you at on your schedule right now?
I got a few minutes.
You got a few minutes? So then let's talk about jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So I found in my spiritual walk, in my personal life, that fitness is really important. I got to be able to plug into my masculine nature.
Yeah.
I want to be able to trust my abilities. And so training is important. How has that influenced you, and what do you do to incorporate that?
Just jiu-jitsu specifically?
Let's just say all of it.
It's so important, like moving your body. I think it's just part of it. It's like, lifting weights, swimming, whatever. Cold plunges are so popular, but they're so beneficial. It's like, got to do that.
Did you do that this morning?
I didn't. Oh. This morning, my routine was tea. Like, I like to brew tea at night, and then in the morning, I put like all the supplements in and drink the tea. And then I feel like if I can do that and shower, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I've been sleeping down here. I was like, I got to go shower in the ocean at some point because my guests are going to probably get a little... Yeah.
It'd be stanky. Yeah, but jiu-jitsu specifically, I just love it. It's like kind of... I like the idea of not caring if you get tapped or not by lower belts, because there's some savvy white belts. There's like D1 wrestlers that'll come in. They were D1 in college and then like maul all the upper belts as a white belt. And I like the fact of just like, all right, go ahead, like tap me out, it's fine. I want to learn all the wrestling I can. And then, okay, a leg locker comes in, freaking heel hooks me like 4 times. Like, okay, let me put myself in that. So I feel like if you can get that mindset going, you're going to learn quicker. So I don't know, I just love it though. It's super fun. I started in Camarillo at Villanova. It's like old school, like super flowy, but like smashing, like punish you for like making mistakes. And then now I'm training at 10th Planet, which is like mostly leg locks and like tricky submissions. So I'm trying to like blend the two styles together, like switch gears.
Right.
Yeah. So
specific to the jiu-jitsu and what I think it's so fantastic, because I think any martial art that you can dedicate to is like that surrender piece, like you say.
Yeah.
Like you got to let a stranger just like take you just about to death.
Yeah.
And be okay with it in that space. Like that really just lowers your, what's going to stress you out today? Not dying. I started the day with that. So like, that's a really good reset on the metric there.
Yep. Like I almost passed out a couple times. Yeah. I can handle some stress of the X Games.
You can handle a little bit of stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. My brother has deep dove into jiu-jitsu the last couple of years now, and I believe he's got his blue belt, purple belt.
Yeah,
he's holding up his gi. And I the same wanted to get into something, but I travel so much that finding a consistent place to train, whatever, when you're just at the beginning, like I went Muay Thai just because the learning curve's a little less.
Yeah, and you can get out. It's like right away, just get all your energy out.
Yeah. But jiu-jitsu is on my very short list. It's just I know that initial pretzel. I've rolled a handful of times to know that, man, I just like am so tense.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure it all out, and all of a sudden I'm in a pretzel again.
Yeah, it's like white belt fury, they call it. Like all the grips are so tight. Yeah. Or like when you do your first competition, like you can't feel your arms after the first roll.
Oh, sure.
Because you're just so tense.
Yeah.
But jiu-jitsu is fun. It's like fun to try to like control that, and I don't know, all the different looks. I love like training with different like body types. Like training with women is challenging because you don't know your own strength sometimes. Even if you're going like 10%, you have to like be careful in certain spots. Like if I'm leaning just a little bit, that's gonna hurt somebody that's like 100 pounds. You know? Even if I'm like barely rolling.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Jiu-jitsu is like super fun for me. It's my main hobby. But yeah, I'm similar to you. Like you travel a lot. I traveled a lot for the last like 3 years and just like cruised around in a van. So yeah, you never really like they want you to be consistent,
right?
To get belted up.
Well, and you want to respect their process. Like I don't want to dive in and out and be available, not available.
That's sort of what I've done for the last 3 years. Okay. So like some of the vibe is like, oh great, here's this guy again, But whatever, you can't please everybody.
Can't please them all.
Yeah,
that's it. Well, shoot. Again, we could talk all day, but I want to get you back out there to the kids, and then we'll get Mouse in here at some point. But this is the time of the show that you can talk to that camera, about something you want to bring attention to or share.
Okay, so then I want to share. I just found out that my offer got accepted for this industrial retail unit in Ventura, downtown Ventura. So we're gonna have our own brick and mortar in like 2 weeks.
You say we, that's you and Mouse?
No, that's me. Just
you?
Me.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So
Congrats.
Gamut, thank you. I'm stoked. We're going to do kids programs. We're going to do meditations. We're going to do meetups, like run meetups, plunge meetups, all that stuff. Talks, discussions, and some jiu-jitsu open mats.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked. So in the next 2 weeks, I'll have the keys, and we have to do a build out, and then we'll be open to the public in probably 2 months.
Is there a website they can find you at?
Yeah, gamutlife.com.
Cool.
So.
Well, shoot, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, check out his new studio coming soon, and stay tuned for more action here from 2024X Games.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot, man.
No, thank you. And I look forward to doing this again.
All right. Sick.
That was it.